Hello everyone, my name is JaeAIK, and I want to welcome you back to another episode in the Lore Behind video. Today we'll be tackling on the new heroes once more, Eris, Lene, and Ishtar. While yes, Julius has been revealed as a new Grand Hero Battle character, I feel Julius deserves his own episode where I can really go in depth with him as a character. So just in case you're wondering, where's Julius? That's why. Like all other The Lore Behind videos, this video will once again contain spoilers, so if you have any plans to play Fire Emblem 4, Genealogy of the Holy War, which I highly recommend, then I suggest turning away now. Jumping right into the new characters, the first character that was revealed to us in the trailer is Eris, the Black Knight.
I am the Black Knight Ares, son of Eldigan.
Eris is the son of Eldigan, and he looks pretty much identical to his father. Hell, his sprite in Fire Emblem 4 was just a recolor of Eldigan's sprite from red to black. Eris' mother, Grani, also makes an appearance in the game, but she ends up being a background character more than not. With war breaking out in Granville, Eldigan sends his wife and son to Ishtar for their own safety. Following the events of the war, Eldigan eventually falls and his wife blames Sigurd for Eldigan's misfortune. Hearing this growing up, Eris truly believes that it was Sigurd who sent his father to the grave, and grew up harboring a grudge against Seliph, Sigurd's son. It's also during the invasion of Leinster that his mother passes away and Eris grows up under Jabaro, a mercenary serving under Bramsel, a corrupt ruler that sends Lene to prison for rejecting his offer as his personal dancer. Kind of messed up if you think about it. Eris, having feelings for Lene, went as far as to join someone who he has ill intentions against, Seliph, for what he believes his father did to his, to go and save her. With the help of Seliph, Eris is able to get Lene out of prison, and also learns that Sigurd and his father Eldigan were actually close buddies through Nana, who happens to be his cousin. While the circumstances of what happened between the two didn't exactly turn out all too favorable, Eris learns the truth and is able to move on from the grudge that he holds. Eris joins heroes holding what his father passed down to him, the Mistletoe, only its edgier, dark version, the Dark Mistletoe. In the main games, the Mistletoe gives its wielder plus 20 skill, plus 10 resistance, and a critical skill. When translated into heroes, crit just means lower special activation, and that's exactly what Mistletoe does. On top of already granting -1 special skill cooldown, it grants an additional -2 cooldown when a special does become activated, allowing Eris to go on a bonfire killing spree or something of that sort. While the Dark Mistletoe doesn't give Eris the boost in resistance that he would normally get in the main games, I believe that skill becomes translated into his ace skill, the Brazen skill, though it could be a stretch. Moving right along, let's talk about Eris' love interest, Lene, Yearning Dancer.
Cheer up, okay?
Lene was abandoned by her mother, Sylvia, and was sent to the orphanage in Darna at a very young age. Can someone give Sylvia the Best Mother of the Year award? While it's unknown what happened to Sylvia after she sent her kids to the orphanage, it's revealed that Lene became a dancer in hopes of finding her mother. But it's also the path that she took in becoming a dancer that leads her into a lot of trouble. You see, Lene is generally described to be beautiful, which is why Eris falls in love with her at first sight, and she returns her feelings for him, because let's be honest here, Eris is a pretty good looking man. But not only did her beauty attract Eris, but it caught the attention of Bramsel, the lord that Eris' adoptive father serves. When asked to become his private dancer, she refuses and gets sent to prison. It's implied a lot of things happen to her while she's behind bars, but none of it is ever confirmed, so I'll leave it at that here. But it's thanks to the efforts of Seliph's army and Eris joining them that Lene is saved. Lene then joins Seliph's army as Eris has already become a part of it. Here in Heroes, Lene ends up joining with the Safeguard Plus, a reference to the weapon Defender Sword in Genealogy of the Holy War. The Defender Sword, when equipped in the main games, would grant its wielder plus 7 defense to whoever held the sword, and true to its origins, the Safeguard Plus grants plus 7 defense to its wielder in combat. I personally think this weapon is great, not too powerful, but not too weak, and great for fragile dancers like her. It also maintains its source material to the core, so that's very exciting. And finally, the final character to join is Ishtar, Thunder Goddess.
I am Ishtar, known as the Goddess of Thunder.
Ishtar is an interesting character as she falls under the Camus archetype, but unlike other Camus archetypes who die loyal to their country, I feel as though Ishtar is a different type of Camus. You see, throughout the story, I feel as though she falls under a different category because instead of being loyal to her country, she's loyal to Julius, her lover, which in turn creates a rift between serving Julius, her lover, or doing what's right. But let's backtrack a bit and talk about Ishtar's childhood. Ishtar is born of two major bloods, making her a formidable mage. Through her father, she gains the Crusader Thrud's blood, and through her mother, she gains the blood of Fallier, which makes her the rightful heir to the tome Mjolnir. She's also the niece to Tityu, who's already released here in Heroes. Because of her high birth, she had Reinhardt, who's also a high-ranking mage, served directly under Ishtar, though he later gets stripped of that position due to Julius's jealousy towards him being very close to Ishtar. I mean, he was her guardian since birth, but just because Reinhardt was her guardian also doesn't mean she's weak. In fact, she trained in her proficiency in thunder magic, and because of her natural talent, she ended up becoming famed as one of the strongest mages in the world. But while she had all this talent and everything going for her, she still grew up under the abuse of her mother, Hilda. While her brothers and sisters ended up growing up resenting Hilda, Ishtar sympathized with her mother, being very understanding towards her. While I personally think Hilda is a massive piece of shit, this kinda goes into the loyalty aspect that Ishtar is known for. As Ishtar grew up, she eventually met up with Julius before he became corrupted by the Tomb of Lopter and they fell in love. And even after Julius gets corrupted by the evil tomb, he still cares deeply for Ishtar even though his mannerisms became more and more violent. If you've played through Fire Emblem 4, you'll know that a major WTF moment is when Julius does all the child hunting to sacrifice to his dark god. Ishtar, though heavily opposed to it and tries to convince Julius to stop, he still goes through with these hunts. In an effort to stop these, she works behind the shadows with Emperor Arvis to stop these hunts from ever happening. Ishtar also faces the Liberation Army led by Seliph twice throughout the Fire Emblem 4 storyline. The first time, her father, in panic, asks Ishtar to protect him from the Liberation Army storming towards his castle. Seeing the panic that her father was in, she agrees to stop the Liberation Army under one condition: she gets the Mjolnir tome. While she ultimately loses to the Liberation Army, Julius comes in at the last minute and saves Ishtar, which leaves her father in a state with no protection and he eventually falls. The second time she faces the Liberation Army is after the death of her mother. She leads the Wiesen Ritter and the Pegasus sisters into battle against Seliph and his army. While the battle was intense, Seliph and his army emerged triumphant, and Ishtar is left dead in defeat even when they pleaded her to stop and walk away from the battle. Ishtar here in Heroes is very faithful to her appearance in Fire Emblem 4. Starting with her tomb Mjolnir, the famous Thunder God's hammer, in Fire Emblem 4 it grants her the stats plus 20 skill and plus 10 speed. In Heroes, all bonus skill stats that a weapon would give is turned into CDR, which her tome grants, minus 1 cooldown to her special skill. The tomb also gives plus 6 speed when attacking, but funnily enough, when paired with her A skill Swift Sparrow, Ishtar is able to get that plus 10 speed that Mjolnir would normally give. Ishtar also comes with a new type of skill, Odd Wave. That type of skill has never been seen before in Heroes, nor is there a skill like this in Fire Emblem 4, but this type of skill has appeared in other Fire Emblem games, like the Odd Rhythm skill that the Dragon Kid would normally have in Fire Emblem Awakening. But with that wraps up the lore behind the new hero's genealogy. I do want to mention that though I'm not exactly the best well-versed in Fire Emblem 4 or Fire Emblem 5 lore, I still put a ton of research into this. But with that being said, I'm positive that I may have still missed out on a lot of major details. So let me know in the comments section if I missed anything. But either way, thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to my channel and want to stay updated for more Fire Emblem content, be sure to subscribe. And as always, I hope to see you guys next time.
かないんだ。